Okay, so this video is about my childhood image that many are exploiting. So as you can see in my pictures, childhood pictures, I used to have curly hair and I used to be like a baby bird, and people mistake my natural curls at this point as some lunatic and favored nighttime insane, favored by the moon. That I was. I always used to wear the love sign moonstone, rainbow moonstone, because I'm part of the rainbow. I'm part of the Rainbow Children Scout, earlier Scouters. But that is another thing. But yeah, in my childhood, I had curly hairs, so people naturally attached a genius outlook into those childhood images, and those pictures were captured by my small uncle. And I used to be a favorite person of people, so they captured a lot of my childhood images. Like people naturally don't have many of their pics taken in those early stages, because their parents are very possessive of keeping them away from camera or people. But I was pretty open-minded and open-hearted, so I naturally attracted a lot of people who wanted to hold me, who wanted to hold me, who wanted to take different positions and different pictures, and it was all very naturally consumed. Like at that point, I did not have any natural sense that I'm sitting on a bed or where I'm sitting, what I'm doing, who is taking my picture. So naturally, I was attracting um, traffic. But yeah, so when I was a little kid, I had naturally curly hair, and my mom tells me that I cried a lot, and that's because I always believed in the Cinderella story. That all my desires are um, put on hold or on a countertop, and nothing. All of those blessings were delayed, and all of those memories were triggered wherever I was not feeling like prioritized, or I was not feeling um, welcomed in that environment, because there is an abandonment trauma also there. Like, yeah, people with immediately give surround me with a lot of gifts and give me a lot of their mind, but it's not that will do any good, right? Because immediately it is followed by a hollow sense of self. And I used to cry a lot because I felt like my desires are not being met, or my blessings are being delayed, because I knew exactly what I wanted when I wanted it, but it was not possible for me to get those things. Like the fridge I actually wanted, this is not that fridge. This is a bigger and better one, as my brother says. Mm. He's he just envisions me as an angel by his side at this point. That he got his wish, and he got his form of happy. So I'm even non-existent at this point, just by his side and wishing him well, all those things. But the soul vortex um, I have opened up here is gonna nurture some dreams that will sort of journey its way toward my fears and walk through those fears and overcome those fears, I think. And there's a part of me that feels genuinely forgiving towards people and lets them live their way, because I know that it gets happy if others get their wishes. That's my angelic presence, by the side, that someone gets their way, someone fulfills their wishes. They do not feel neglected, they do not feel abused or harassed, or they do not feel like, oh, I always am left behind. They also feel welcomed. So a part of me feels happy for that. And in my childhood, I used to get a lot of those moments where my blessings were delayed, because I had a part of me, that part of me that likes to see people get their way, had to give it away. And sometimes people take advantage of that nature of me, that I let people get their way sometimes, even though it's not gonna turn out good for everyone, not just me, for everyone involved. In the larger picture, I always had a larger view of things, and it just ran in my bloodline, galactic bloodline. I always had this large view of things, large scheme of things. I always had a grand entrance. I always had a grand perspective. It just flows naturally to me. Like, I can get to the top pretty quickly, because I know which aspect of me is placed where in the grand scheme of things. And I can connect them pretty easily. I can connect the dots pretty easily, and I can connect the people, the higher aspects, the highest aspects pretty easily, and I can get the outcome I need right now. So, like, the highest vibration of planet Earth. Happiness is the highest vibration of planet Earth, and you can pretty much acquire everything together in an instant if it wants. So, for that larger vision, I always need resources. Always needed this here, that here, that here. But in childhood, I had to delay a lot of my blessings, were put on the back burner. And I do not resonate with people. I do not surround myself with people who do not nurture my dreams, who do not make my feelings feel validated, and not necessarily I want them to not crush my dreams, because sometimes it's necessary to crush your wild dreams, if you know that the deeper intention is something wilder. The deeper intention, when you figure out that the deeper intention is much more wild, then your dreams need to be crushed. If it's personal, and personal feelings are attached, positive feelings, light feelings, light-hearted feelings. Sometimes we cannot see what evil thoughts are people casting at us, because we are so preoccupied by our own feeling and thinking processes and own web of things, because we cannot even we have no preconceived notion. We cannot even conceive that things could go wrong that way. We all come from a different background, cosmic background, and sometimes I feel like I have an advantage over all of that, because my background naturally determines that everything will always work out for the highest good of all. And it is pretty I've always resonated with the Cinderella story because of this, because my blessings are delayed. And even when it comes from delay, it may come in a knight in a shining armor, but it will not feel right, probably. Probably you'll settle for that, whatever you get. All my life I had to settle for breadcrumbs. But yeah, even the breadcrumbs are the best breads I've ever received. And yeah, many people are taking advantage of my image of those naturally curly hair. And when I grow up, my hair is naturally strengthened. These are natural curls. When I take a bath, these are the natural curls I get. This is on camera tying my hair up. So people have a lot to say about my past, but I do not live there. But many people are taking advantage of my image. And it is all okay and good if it's done in the goodwill of things. But when people try to destroy my reputation, destroy my image, fail my image, and take it out of context and out of that project, it becomes very sin like why would you hurt someone and they have not hurt you in any way? So yeah, I would not refer to anyone that I do not wish to work with, but I'd rather say that people get what they deserve eventually, and you will get what you believe you deserve. So my face is roaming around a lot on those streets because of my ops and that hidden obsession with me. My enemies are obsessed with my face, so they have to do all those image manipulations. But yeah, when you get into anybody's home and without privacy, and the same is done to you, how it feels, no? That's karma. How it feels when you call someone on their bullshit and somebody calls you on your bullshit. How it feels. Okay, I'm getting hungry at this point. Let's see what we have in the fridge. This is green moong. I might have this now. With puria. So have a great time while I have a good time eating here. Okay? And if I have something else to express, I'll open it later on.